I'm ready.
All right. Now we have the Lakers. And I would say it was probably the most disappointing playoff series that we had. Um, you know, we went 6 for 8 in the first round predictions. Um, and I think
Not
like this
bad.
was the one that like I was just completely wrong about. So here we are. So with the Lakers, I think an important thing to consider for them is like even come playoff time, they kind of looked like a team that was assembled mid-season. Um, we talked about it recapping the first round. Like D'Angelo Russell played on the Lakers this season. Um, you, Gabe Vincent ended up being an important player for them at the end of the season this year because that's how thrown together their roster was. They looked very cohesive at the start of the year. Um, and I think given a full offseason to get things ready with whatever personnel they are going to have, um, I think is they're going to look cohesive at the start of next season. It just seemed like with such a drastic change going into the year that they just, in the middle of the season, they weren't very cohesive. And with them, I don't know how many big moves are on the table for them, but they can certainly get creative here. What do you have to start with before we go in depth on the Lakers here?
For sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like you said, Pat, this was a team that definitely looked like it was assembled midway through the season. And obviously they were with the acquisition of Luka Doncic. Um, and I think this team just that playoff series was really evident what they needed in that big man, that where they were lacking in that big man area. I think yeah, they have a lot to look at this offseason. Do you want to just go ahead and start talking about it? Or
I mean, yeah, I mean, to start, the Anthony Davis trade is about to be over for them. Or I guess it is over after this season. Their 2025 pick is the last pick attached to that Anthony Davis trade, which is crazy. That deal's already over for New Orleans. And then they don't have their own control of their 27 and 9 picks from one of them was the D'Lo Vanderbilt Malik Beasley deal in 2023, I think, and then the other one was shipped out this year for Luca. So they're relatively unflexible with their draft picks. They should have, I think, one tradable come this offseason, and that'll be their 2031 pick. Um, I don't know if there's necessarily a trade that they're going to do. They do have salaries that can be traded, like if Finney Smith opts in, they'll have Rui, Finney Smith, Reeves, Vanderbilt, Vincent, Maxi Kleba, all within the 18 to $11 million range, which makes for a lot of trade flexibility if they do want to match some salaries. Another important thing is like LeBron needs to be re-signed. He has a player option this season for $52.5 million. If LeBron really wants to win, he could take a league minimum. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think
he already
LeBron's
said
going to,
he already said he wanted.
yeah.
He said he
So
wanted
LeBron's
to.
going, yeah, he's going to re up on a $50 million 2 year deal. And then him and Luca are going to take up around $98 million of the 150 that the cap is projected to be for next season. Actually, it's going to be around $156 million. They're going to have some space under the first apron. They'll have a taxpayer mid-level exception. There's going to be some flexibility here with the Lakers. I think a lot of teams are going to see increased flexibility because of the huge cap spike that's happening this season. Um, so what do we think the initial start is? Obviously, it's going to be a big man. Um,
Yeah. I also think that just retaining a lot of the scores would be big. I think the let me go to their free agents real quick. But I know DFS. Dorian Finney-Smith
It's
is
just
a free agent
DFS.
this year. Oh, it's just DFS. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
well, yeah. Who's it's Reeves and Luca are eligible though for an extension, right?
So is Rui, Vincent, Kleba, and
Okay.
Finney Smith.
So I think definitely giving that extension to Luca and Reeves, even though Reeves had a disappointing playoff series, he still had a really good year this year. Um, yeah, yeah. So I think getting those two guys are big, and then the center position, I'm not really sure what their cap space is, but there's a lot of centers there. A name that Lakers fans have been saying for years, and Miles Turner is going to be a free agent next year. But obviously, if that doesn't work out, if you want to get a similar type player, just saying that because he can shoot. Brooke Lopez is also on the board. Clint Capella, who's been a big man for years now, and played some solid minutes with Atlanta. Ended up losing the spot to Okongwu, but um, that's no fault to him. Okongwu is a great player who had a breakout year this year. Um, and then yeah, I think those are the main centers you can target. I mean, you can go after Steven Adams. I really don't think he's going to leave Houston though. That's just my opinion. I don't think Houston wants them to leave either. Uh, I mean, and then like yeah, yeah. I mean Al Horford as well, but I don't really like that fit on this team. So I think going after a center is good, and then just keeping this. I think keeping the squad though, Pat. I mean, they were a 3 seed this year, and that was with being with like probably 50% team chemistry for all those 2K franchise players out there. So taking the off season and the first couple months of next season, I think this team is going to be really just. It's going to be good stuff. Yeah,
Long term, do you see Reeves as like a third starting star, or do you see Reeves like potentially kicking to the bench? Because I think if you add a center, then it's like, do you bench Rui or DFS, or do you send Reeves to the second unit? Uh,
I seriously can see Reese is still a starter on this team. Um, yeah, he had a disappointing playoffs, but I mean, they were talking about this guy as the third best option not too long ago. So uh, let's remember what he did for the whole season, not just a 2 week stretch or 1 week
yeah,
stretch.
that's fair for sure. I think he's 100% good enough to start still. It's just in some instances, like if you, because they could get Miles Turner, they could.
Hmm.
Um, the thing is, it would have to be some type of a sign and trade deal. Uh, I don't know how possible it is. I think if you're getting Miles Turner, like Austin Reeves kind of has to get sent back to Indiana because I don't know if there's anybody else that's as valuable to what Indiana that Indiana might want. What do you think about like? Do you think Kleba could be like a piece for them, or is he just a salary? You think?
I don't think he can be a piece. I mean, yeah. Um, and I'm not gonna say any like bets or anything because I've already been screwed too many times on this channel with that. But the day that Maxi Kleber is a piece for the Lakers is it'll be a very interesting day. I don't see that happening. Yeah, I don't see that happening. I think that's just a filler spot. Uh, yeah, I can't. I think they should like if they want to make. I mean, yeah, they can do that, but then they're going to be in the same situation as they were last this year. Um, like if they want to win, they need to win now with LeBron. Like if LeBron's not taking a pay cut, like he's just saying it's kind of like fuck you guys, but whatever. That's a whole another conversation. But yeah, I think getting a center, a solid center, even if it's Brooke Lopez or Clint Capella, even if it's Clint Capella, I think that's better than what you have in Jackson Hayes. Um, who I thought had a decent year, and they should keep as a backup. Uh, even though I doubt Lakers fans would agree with me.
Yeah. And those are 100% very realistic options with Capella and Robinson, or not Robinson. I saw Duncan Robinson and I read off his name. Those are 100% realistic options. I could see them doing. Um, if they do want to just add additional size options, like Trey Lyles is out there. I wouldn't necessarily love him as your rim protector, but as a small ball five, that's another option for them. And like, you probably wouldn't have to give him the $11 million that Maxi Kleber's getting. Um, so that's a potential option for them to go. Like I don't know if I like them getting any point guards. Hey, like if that Davion Mitchell's in the range, like please get Davion Mitchell. Like that's uh yeah, if he's in mid-level exception range, like he does this super Jordan Goodwin impression, so that would be great. Uh, Glad Jordan Goodwin has finally caught on in an NBA roster. We've been saying he's pretty good for the whole year we've been here. Um, it's going to be difficult for them, but like anybody within the 20, like just under $30 million range, they could definitely potentially make a move for. That being said, I don't know if Miles Turner's getting under $30 million, so I don't know if Miles Turner's probably not on the table for them. Because it would gut your roster so much. It would cost Reeves, probably, I would think. Do you got any other huge avenues for Los Angeles to improve?
I mean, no. I think Miles Turner could be an option if LeBron took the pay cut and they just gave that man the bag. Miles Turner the bag, but I think Miles Turner's a fantasy option. I think Brooke Lopez. Man, let's get him out of that net. Let's get him out of that Bucks jersey. Let's get him to the big city. Let's get him paired up with Luke and LeBron. But besides that, this team is definitely out of all the teams we're talking about, except maybe the Rockets, are going to be the best poised heading into the future or heading into next season, not the future, heading into next season.
Do we think D'Angelo Russell's a Laker again?
Nah, nah.
All right, that'll do it for the Lakers. Hopefully, the Lakers fans are very pissed off about that comment. We're moving on to Houston.